It was a normal day in Manhattan. Seafoam was going to work. And even after that, she had already made some plans with her friend Sweet Skies. Sweet Skies and Seafoam had decided to spend some time together after work. And since Seafoam is working at a local food store nearby her apartment, they haven't seen each other quite some time since Sweet Skies worked at another local bakery nearby. So, and since they haven't been able to see each other as much lately, so they decided to see near the park, near in Seafoam's home. Even Seafoam was very quite happy that Sweet Skies were able to see her after, since both have been quite busy lately with their work. So, and after that, Seafoam just ran into Sweet Skies on her way back home just one day before. She'd asked her if she maybe had any time to do so they could just spend some time together, just seeing each other. And Sweet Skies said that she had actually she will only work half day tomorrow, so she will be able to see her friend then. And of course, even Seafoam had only half the time of work, so they will both work around early afternoon. So they decided to see each other at the park around 1 p.m. So the next day, when they were at work, they were actually start working as normal. Seafoam was so happy to know that she would be able to see her friend. But just before she was about to leave her work, her manager said that she had to work a bit longer. And she asked how much longer because she's going to meet a friend at the park. And the manager said she had made to work for only 5 minutes. And that was something that she could handle, so she did. When she did arrive to the park, though, only 5 minutes late, Sweet Skies thought that maybe that she weren't coming. But she saw that she was walking or running towards her, and Seafoam explained that why she was late. And Sweet Sky didn't mind because she knew that happens a lot even at her work. And Seafoam noticed that she had a bag with her, and there were some sweets that she had bought from work. Since they hadn't even seen each other so quite often, so she had decided to bring something that they could eat. So they went down at the walk from the park down to the canal almost near the lake, just to have something to eat. And since it was a sunny day, both actually enjoyed it. Both of them just talked mostly about the day, like what has been going on lately. And Sweet Skies had that I mentioned that some of her friends had tried to convince her, try to do something that she has never done before. And Seafoam then asked what that could be. And that was actually turns out to be speed dating. Ever since Sweet Sky's boyfriend broke up with her about almost 2 years earlier, she had been very heartbroken. They were together for nearly 5 years, and he suddenly said that he was not in love with her anymore, so she took it very hard. And she decided for back then not to be dating until she was ready. And that was 2 years after they had been together for almost 5 years. And now her friends, at least the co-workers and some other close friends, had tried to convince her, tried to do some speed dating just to see if she will find any particular special something. But Sweet Sky has said no, I'm not ready for dating yet. But her friends tried to convince her at least try it. So after nearly saying that she didn't want to do it, they managed to somehow convince her at least try it once. So she gave up. She will say that she will do it. So she decided to do that, but that was going to be the day after that she had met her friend Seafoam. And Seafoam, by the way, She had been single for nearly almost 4 years. She dated another stallion also at the same time around a friend, but they didn't seem to be going quite well. They were only together for about a year. She later found out why. It turns out that he had another mare behind her back, which he had been engaged with only a year earlier before he met her. And they were supposed to be getting married. When she found out about it, she was furious. She told him, "How could you lie to me about this? If you love me or you love her, who do you want to be with?" And that was something that he did say, "Oh, I'm just use you for, well, I thought maybe that you could be in the right one for me, but you know what? No, I decided to be with my fiancée as she is more lovely, or more, she's more my type. So you only use me, more to say." Basically, yeah. And that was the point when Seafoam kicked him out of her apartment, and that was the last time she even saw him. So, but now, she had been wondering if she was ready to date somebody else, since Sweet Skies' friends had told her to do the same. So, Seafoam asked Sweet Skies where this speed dating location were going to be. And Sweet Skies didn't mind to share the location where this speed dating will take place the day next day. So Seafoam then asked, how about if they go together to this location, since she maybe want to try it herself. And Sweet Skies didn't not thought more than about that, so she said yes. So they both actually went to the same place the next day though. There was just a small local area where when they came there, they actually saw there was at least another dozen of ponies there. Mares and stallions, young, elderly. And even Sweet Sky started feeling this was something that she didn't even want to do. But she will at least give it a try. At least she had promised her friends about it. And Sifo, she did at least want to see what speed dating was about, because she only heard much about it but never gave it as a thought to try it. So, as the day speed dating began, they decided to wish each other good luck, and after a while though, ever since the first few stallions that the Sweet Skies talked to didn't seem to be any of her interest, but there was one stallion that she thought maybe could have been interested in her, but it turns out later it wasn't. She didn't find any pony that she felt any some sort of connection to at speed dating, but otherwise, Seafoam, she did. She found this young stallion around the same age as her, only about a year younger, and he was very handsome, strong, and he worked as carpenter, and even for most time though, he was so charming, and even right after this, they decided to meet up for some coffee the next day. So they did. And since it was weekend, Seafoam didn't have any work that day. And Sweet Skies just told her good luck and hope for best. And turns out that both the stallion and Seafoam had a lot more in common. They loved the same food, the same music styles, and even had the same interest in common interest. And it turns out that he even liked to do hikings. So he had maybe a thought about how about they went on a hike, maybe the next weekend. So she was very excited by the idea. So she did. So for the next couple of weeks after all the first meeting, it seemed to go so well between her and this new stallion, which by the name was Silver Star. Silver Star was a quite handsome stallion for even most of it, but it did happen that she saw him talking to other mares. But it turns out most of them were actually some of his old friends, and one was his cousin. So she didn't believe that he would ever cheat on her. But ever since this, everything was going quite well. And it even happened that when Seafoam met her friend Sweet Skies, they talked much about these things. Like, she was very interesting to know more about Silver Star, how things going on between them, like how she's been treating it by him, and she says that he's treating her like a princess. She treats him, he treats her so well, always well mannered, honest, and most of all, funny. Hearing all this from her friend made her feel a bit jealous. She finally found some pony to be with, but she hasn't. Even that she had given this speed dating at least another number of tries. There were at least one stallion that she thought maybe she could be with. But this stallion only thought mostly about himself. Like, he only thought for, he decided she wants to be with him. So she didn't see it anymore. But Silver Star, after being together for nearly about almost 6 months, he had actually taken her to a local restaurant for just celebrating it. And it was just a perfect romantic date. He said that even they had only known each other for about 6 months, he asked her if she would consider to maybe marry him someday. And Seafoam, you said, yeah, maybe, but not right now. I mean, we only been dating for about 6 months. Maybe, I don't know, after 2 years or something. That actually gave him some bit of hope. It turns out, though, that he had actually been planning to marry her, or at least propose to her. But when she said that she didn't want to wait a little bit longer, he didn't mind that. But things started to get a bit differently after all this. After that, he didn't see her that often, but the most due to his work, so she understood that. But when it happened, they didn't see each other. She spent some time with her friend Sweet Skies. But one day, something did actually turn for the bad, for the worst. Silver Star then told Seafoam that after they had been dating for about a year, that he was feeling ready to maybe take the next step in the relationship, like getting married. So he actually proposed to her. And she said that she needed some time to think about it. So, with the next few days, he often asked her what her answer were. And she decided to say that she needed just some time to think about it, since this was one of the big questions that any pony would be asked for. And he understood, so after nearly been thinking for about 4 months, for about 4 days more, she decided to say yes. And that made him so extremely happy. And when they start talking about when to hold the wedding, they decide to hold it around maybe around the next summer. So they will give it enough time to planning for the invitations, for who to be invited, like where to be held and everything. But when she said that she wanted her friend Sweet Sky to be her bridesmaid, that was something he said no. She was a bit surprised why suddenly that he said no. She asked him why, because he doesn't trust her. Why he doesn't even trust her? She asked him. Because she seems to be liking her more than as a friend, and that he doesn't want her to ruin his wedding with by to be there. And Seafoam said that is just not a good reason why not to be inviting her. She's one of the closest friends that she has, and she won't want to have her to invite her into the wedding. But he said no once again. But then she said, if you don't want her to be invited, then your best man, you will have to your best friend. He's not either to be invited as well. But I already invited him, so that is all taken care of. But I said no, I don't want him to be there. If you don't want to let my best friend to be there, I won't let your best friend to be there either. It's the same thing. No, not the same thing. He's a stallion. She's a mare. Oh, are you going from that way? I then say, we are through. And she threw the ring and kicked him out of her apartment. And she was heartbroken. And almost 2 days later, he came back to her place and tried to ask her for forgiveness. But she said, no, I'm not taking you back. If you don't even want to allow my friend to be there, I don't see why would she could even get married. But he had already told his family that about the wedding, the date had been set, where to be location be held, and that was something she was not unaware of. So she then once again told him no, and she kicked him out. She kicked the door around in his face, and even the same day though, when she was about to leave the apartment, she actually ran into Sweet Skies, who's supposed to be going over to see her, and she saw that Seafoam was not happy. She asked what if something happened, and they decided to go to the park just across the street to talk. At first, Sweet Skies were surprised when Seafoam told her everything. Why? So he would not me will be there at the wedding because he thinks I'm in love with you? And Seafoam just nodded. And if he was not going to let your friend be there, but his friend's going to be there, that's crazy. And Seafoam said she agreed. And after that day, when Seafoam were at work the next day, she ran into some pony, and that was Silver Star's mother. And it turns out Seafoam that Silver Star has told his mother that the wedding had been cancelled. So she started talking about the wedding, and but wait, haven't you been told? About what? She asked. The wedding is off. Silver Star didn't mention that. Well, I did call off the wedding at first. I don't want to see him anymore. And Silver Star's mother was puzzled. She asked why suddenly that she called off the wedding so suddenly. And she said the reason why. But his mother, she said, well, that is his decision. You cannot say for him if he's not allowed to stay, invite his friend to be his best man. Yeah, but my friend, I want to be as a bridesmaid, but he said that she is not allowed to be there. So why wouldn't she be allowed, but he allowed to stay as his friend, not my friend? And Silver Star's mother agreed. This was something very, very rude, because if her son had decided that his best friend to be the best man, so why wouldn't his fiance's best friend to be the bridesmaids? So she told his mother once again that telling him the wedding will never take place and I don't want to talk to him ever again. And she promised to tell him that. And it turns out though, after work, she ran into him. And it turns out that his mother actually told him that, but he refused to listen. Listen, if your friend even tried to show up at the wedding, I just say, don't interrupt me. The wedding will take place. And I have already been ordered things. Invitation has been set out. Your family are coming. But then Seafoam freaked out. Listen, I'm not going. The wedding is off. That's final. And my friend, if Gino's coming, I'm not coming. And I will certainly say my family will never be there. So, and she just walked off before he could say another word. Even though that after all this happened, she was expecting that he would just drop the hints that she was serious about this. But for the next few days, nothing happened. But only when she went to see her parents for a visit, turns out that Silver Star was already there, talking to her family. Just they were chatting. They were completely unaware about what just happened. Since she hasn't had enough time to see her family, since her father works a lot and her mother works a lot, so she's been unable to see much of them lately. But when she came there, she heard a voice, and she immediately recognized it was Silver Star's voice. She stormed into her living room and said, "Why are you doing here? Leave!" But her parents were just stunned. "But, honey, don't say that to your fiancé. He's not my fiancé anymore. I called off the wedding days ago, but he refused to listen." And her mother then just looked at him. "Is it true?" "No, she's lying. She's just scared about the wedding." But her father, he did actually saw something was wrong. So, I ask, why is the wedding called off? Before that, Soulstar could say anything though. The reason why I called off the wedding, he refused Sweet Skies to be invited as my bridesmaid because he believes that she is in love with me and that he's not allowing her to be there, but he's allowing his best friend to be the best man, so his best friend is invited, but not mine. Both her parents just looked at him and they actually demanded an answer from him. But he brushed it off as nothing at all. I mean, seriously, honey, you think me to be invited your best friend? Okay, but as an excuse for more better, I will take another friend of mine to be the best man, right? Would that be better? No, not that will make you any better. Still though, your best friend is not coming. I had already invited her to the wedding, but you said no. Listen, I'm the man in this relationship, and you listen to me. You obey what I say. That shocked both parents. You, out, and never talk to us or my daughter ever again. If you do, you will see this hoof in your flank out of town. You got it? And Silverstar just looked at his father and just laughed. Ha! If you were going to kick me out. But before he could finish, Seafoam's father said once again with a strong, raging voice, "I said out. If you ever talk to my daughter ever again, I will seriously mean it. Leave. And the wedding is off." So, Silverstar was baffled. He just didn't say another word and left. And even for the next couple of days, he tried to talk to Seafoam, but she refused and he actually gave up. So he moved on. And he actually even left town for good. Turns out he didn't want to be around anybody like her ever again. So, and she then, after only about a few days after this, she was heartbroken. How could she believe that this handsome, this generous, honest pony, stallion like Silverstar, to be like that? She could not believe it. So for the next couple of days, she didn't even want to work. She told her manager why she didn't want she coming, and of course, the manager, as a brave loyal friend, she said, "It is okay. Take your time off. You have been a lot of time off to take care of, so take it." And Sweet Skies, she was there for a friend all the time. But lately, though, after knowing how much she tried telling Silver Star that she was not allowed to be at the wedding, she tried to convince and let her be invited. But nothing happened. But also knowing that how much she will try to be there for her friend, Sweet Skies, she realized that she had actually been fallen in love with her best friend, Seafoam. And just knowing how much she had been there for her, especially after her breakup. So she decided to tell Seafoam how she feels towards her, even if it means nothing to be the same afterwards. When she told Seafoam about her true feelings, she were not as surprised as that Seafoam had realized herself that since she had been there for her so much lately, during this breakup with her boyfriend and this cancel on the wedding, he was really given her chance to be with her. So they decided to go to the movies the next day, just as a first date. They took it slowly, which Sweet Skies didn't mind. But over time, as their relationship has just started, everything seems to be lighting up for her. Seafoam seemed to be more happier, and she's even started laughing, singing at work, just being as a bright pony again. And her parents, when they were told about that she's dating Sweet Skies, her mother, who wasn't much as against the entire idea, she just said, "As long as you're happy and we trust her, we have known Sweet Skies for as long as you have known her, and we do trust her. And I have to admit, she has done right for you." And her father said, your mother is right. As long as you are really happy to be with her, we are happy for you. And your mother is right though. We do actually trust her more than your ex-boyfriend did. She is the right one for you. And promise us not to make this relationship fall apart like as they did before. And the daughter actually promised. And after being together for about 2 years, Seafoam actually did propose to Sweet Skies. And she didn't hesitate for a single moment, which she said yes right away. They decided to hold the wedding during spring, and they had invited all the friends. But only then, the day before the wedding, something did happen. Silver Star showed up at Seafoam's doorstep. He wanted to see her, but she had something in mind that's saying, "If you ever want to see me, you will be credited." But this time, he wasn't there to make any fight. He just came by to say that he was sorry all of what happened. And after hearing that she is going to get married with Sweet Skies, he admits that maybe their relationship was not meant to be. That even that he was felt that she was right though. That Sweet Skies actually had a crush on her friend Ziva. And he said that he's happy that she is happy. And he has already moved on in himself. Started a new business, started a new company, started a new location in the town, and even have met another married himself. And they had been engaged for about 6 months. So, and as soon as that, he said, "I ask you for forgiveness," which she accepted. and that was the last time she ever saw him. And Sweet Skies, she didn't want to be any problem for him either, so they decided to forgive each other also. So around spring, they had actually had the wedding, and it was a great time. And this party itself was just a small party since they had invited some of the closest friends, family, and everything just was so perfect between them. And even after that, the party itself, they actually went to Crystal Empire for about a week, and they had this amazing time. And after they had this when they came back home from after the honeymoon, they actually moved to a bigger house nearby, to a bigger apartment nearby Sweet Skies' work, and it was just going well between them. And after being married for about a year, both Sweet Skies and Seafoam decided they maybe want to have a family of their own. So they decided to maybe adopt some children. So they went to a local orphanage. There they adopted a boy and his sister, and the boy was about 10 and his sister was about 8. And they were happy to have a new family together. But that was not all. After being that, but only been 2 years later, they adopted another daughter, and she was about also 5. Seafoam, she was really happy that how much she meant to me to be with Sweet Skies. Sweet Skies couldn't ever ask for better partner and Seafoam. Even if Sweet Skies haven't revealed her true feelings towards Seafoam, either of them wouldn't have been so happily married and having an amazing family together. They would have missed out this true happiness, and so that meant they were actually meant to be with each other. And that's how Sweet Skies and Seafoam found a true love and got a big family. The end.